Hey guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to sit and chat about one of my favorite tropes with mystery thrillers in particular, and that is when characters are put in these like isolated settings and then they're being picked off one by one, they're dying one by one, they're going missing one by one. Whatever is happening, it is happening one by one. I love it. I don't understand why I like that so much, but anytime somebody pitches a book to me and they're like, characters are just dying one by one, I'm here for it. I am going to read it. Now, when I was picking out books for this, as much as I love that trope, I thought I would have had a lot more books to talk about. I'm pretty sure me just sitting and thinking about it and like staring at my shelves, I might be looking over some, but these are the ones that I'm going to talk about here. There are a couple in here that I was not really the biggest fan of, but I read them because I like this trope and they might sound good to you guys, so I wanted to recommend them anyways. I also kind of have these like separated into season, so I have some that kind of fit like the summer season, fall season, and then some of these are definitely set in the winter. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the ones that I feel are more of like a summertime vibe. Technically, I only have two that can go into like the summertime vibe, but the first one here is One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. This is a new release for this year. And so this does not really go in the direction that I feel like most people think this is gonna go, because I was questioning what was happening in this book while I was reading it. So in this, we're following our main character, Lila, and she's in a relationship with Nico, and Nico's like a struggling actor, and so he gets this opportunity to go and participate in this like reality TV show set on an island, but the only way that he can go is if he can convince Lila to go with him. He does convince her. They're participating in this reality show set on the island, and we get to see them go through like one challenge. And then after that, like a storm hits the island and people are starting to die one by one. This is more of a survival story, not so much as like someone is really out there trying to kill them one by one, which is what I was under the impression. These people are dying one by one because they are trying to survive on this island. So if that is your vibe, I would definitely recommend this. I was drawn into this because of like the reality TV show aspect. I love reality TV. However, this does not focus on the reality TV show aspect. So if that is what you are looking for, you are not going to get that in here. This is strictly a survival story. I like survival stories, so this is why this worked for me. But if that is your thing, and if you like an isolated beach setting with a bunch of characters, then this will work for you too. Another book that I'm putting in like this summer vibe category, I did not really know where else to put it. It is unfortunately a book that I did not care for, but it is like your classic, people are getting picked off one by one, and that is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. I read this like a couple of years ago. People talked about it all the time when it first came out. We're following this detective, and there have been 9 people that have been put on a list, and they are literally being killed one by one. And the detective is trying to figure out who it is that has put these people on this list, and then how are they all connected that is the reason of them being like the 9 people on this list. This was fine. I do have a standalone review for it. I think I'm being a little nicer here talking about it, because if it sounds good to you guys, then by all means pick it up. But this is your classic case of people getting picked off one by one. People are dying in some very interesting ways in this one. So if that is also something that you're into, by all means pick this up. I don't think this is like one of the best books by Peter Swanson, but I do think this is going to be one of those books you either love it or hate it. So check it out if you feel the need to. So next we're going to be moving into the books that I would consider you guys read for fall, which would be a good time for you guys to pick these up right now. So the first one is Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. Not sure how to pronounce his last name, but this one I believe takes place in the fall time. So there was an accident at a party that happened with a group of kids. And so one of those kids at this party unfortunately died. Then we fast forward a year later, and someone is out there trying to get revenge for this death, and they are dressed up in a clown attire, and they are picking off this friend group one by one. This is a young adult horror, and it kind of goes there. For it to be young adult, it definitely goes there with how graphic these deaths are and how these people are dying. Again, your classic, people are getting picked off one by one. Definitely a good time to read in the fall time, near Halloween time. And if you are into clowns, if that's your thing, then I would highly suggest you check this out. This is part of a series. I think there are 3 books currently out now. I've only read this one, so I'm not really sure where those other 2 books go, but this is definitely fits into people getting killed one by one. The next one that I have here is Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. And so this one is kind of like a weird take on the one by one trope because of like what's actually going on. This actually takes place the last day of summer, so to me it fits in with fall. So in this one, we're following this friend group, and one of them, I think his name is Sawyer. Yes. He and his friends, they decide to play a prank on one of their friends that works at a movie theater. And so they find this mannequin that's kind of like human-like, and they stick it in the theater hoping that it's going to scare their friend. But then they notice that the mannequin actually moves, and then they notice that maybe this mannequin is starting to kind of like pick them off one by one, and then it kind of gets weird from there. This is one of those books that I don't really understand the ending, but I had a fun time with this. It is a short novella. I guarantee you, you will not want to put this down once you start it. And it's kind of creepy with like how these people are being killed, with like the mannequin. I don't like dolls or mannequins, so I thought this was pretty creepy. And again, if you like the trope, I think you're gonna like this one. So then the last one that I think will definitely fit for the fall time, give you those fall time creepy vibes, is Alice Feeney's Daisy Darker. Now, I personally love this. Some people do not, so that's very subjective. So in this one, we are following Daisy, and she is going to like her grandmother's 80th birthday party. Like the whole family is. And so in order to get there, like the lady lives on this like island. You got to get there by boat. But of course, when they get there, it's like a bad storm and they're stuck there. So this gives you that island, rainy, cozy vibes. And so when they get there, the family members are starting to be killed one by one. It started off with the grandmother, and then soon after that, the rest of the family begins to die. There are clues left behind on like who may or may not be next. And then there's clues into why these people are being killed. I love this. It did take me a little bit to get into it, but once I was into it, I really enjoyed it. There is a lot of family drama. There's a lot of tension within this family. You learn a lot of things about Daisy, and then the ending blew me away. I honestly did not see it coming. Some people said they could, a lot of us could not, but I really enjoyed it. And again, if you're looking for this trope, but in the fall time, this one would definitely work for you. So then the last 4 books that I have to talk about are all tropes, this one by one trope that is set in the wintertime. So this first one that I have here is Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. So in this one, we are primarily following our main character, Krista. And her boyfriend are headed to the Rockies. They're trying to go to this like resort and, you know, have like this romantic getaway. While they're on the bus to get to this resort, the bus like gets stopped by like a tree that has fallen into the road. They can no longer use the bus, so they're kind of like stuck. Somebody ends up dying, and their head is like found hanging in a tree, and like all hell breaks loose. So they're able to get to a cabin, but they begin to become very suspicious of each other because people are starting to disappear, but then they're slowly finding them later killed in like really gruesome ways. Lots of secrets are coming out, and this is again another survival story, but this is definitely a one by one trope where somebody is doing the killing. I love the feel of this because it actually, you could feel like the dread in here. It's definitely perfect for the winter time. I do think parts of this is a little bit predictable, but the journey to get there is great. There's a lot of action throughout this. Again, this is like one of those ones I don't think that you're gonna wanna put down once you pick it up. So great one for this trope. So then next up, we have An Unwanted Guest by Sherry Lapina. This again is following these couples and then some other like side characters that are trying to just have a cozy time during a winter storm at this resort. Unfortunately, they end up getting stuck there because the storm gets really, really bad. And so one night, one person dies, and then from there, other people are dying as well. I really like this one, just like I like all of Sherry Lapina's books, but this one I liked because of the setting. Again, it takes place in the wintertime, and because this also has to deal with a lot of these characters keeping secrets from their partners, and so you're slowly starting to figure that out. And then I did not guess the ending for this one, and so I kind of liked where it went. So again, if you're looking for like winter vibes, this will definitely do it. Next up, we have Breathless by Amy McCulloch. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But this one also takes place in the winter, obviously. This one takes place in the mountains. And so we're following this writer, this journalist. Her name is Cecily. And she's there because I believe she's trying to like interview one of the famous like mountain climbers. And so in order to get her story, she has to climb up this mountain with these other mountaineers. And she is not a mountain climber. Not at all, but she's doing it so that she can get this story. So while they're getting prepared to travel up this mountain, what happens? Somebody dies. And then after that, each character is dying one by one, and our main character, Cecily, and some other characters are trying to figure out what is going on because they do not want to be stuck on this cold mountain. Now, this wasn't one of my favorites. I did pick this up because of the trope, but I do think that this story is very predictable. I think if you're somebody that reads like a lot of mystery thrillers, you would definitely be able to guess what exactly is going on and who is doing all this. But it's still a fun time. It still gives you those wintry vibes. And again, if you like the trope, you like this. So then the last one that I have here, and it was my first book that I've read by Ruth Ware. This is One by One. Again, this takes place in the wintertime, during a storm, at like this ski resort. So we have these characters who are part of like this startup tech company, and they're having a retreat in the mountains. So we're following them, and then we're also following the people that run this resort. And so, like I said, they get stuck there because the storm gets really, really bad. There's already a lot of tension within this group because they have different plans and different ideas for what the next steps should be for this tech startup company. And so one of them goes missing. They find out that this person is dead, and then all hell breaks loose again because now they're starting to point the finger and everyone's kind of giving each other the side eye. And so now they're trying to figure out who is trying to take them out one by one. Perfect book for this trope. Again, I like the setting for it. I liked all the drama that came out in this one. I do like the idea of their startup company. So if you're into like that kind of thing, this one will be for you. I know this is one of the ones by Ruth Ware that's also a hit or miss with people. But if you just go in there and just kind of have fun with it and not take it too seriously, I think you'll enjoy it. This is also one of the ones where I feel like you can guess what is going on because of the perspectives that we are given. But nonetheless, I really like this. I really liked how it ended. And again, a great one to read for the one by one trope. So those are all the books that I wanted to recommend you guys. I know that I'm probably missing some, but I can't think of what those are at the moment. So if you guys love this trope and you have other books that you would recommend, please leave those down in the comments because I would like to know, because I'm trying to read more books with this trope. But that is all that I have for you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.